case anyone didn't hear, we are recording this, so if you have a problem with being recorded, you can always turn your camera off. We've got a couple of presentations, so while Hilary's talking and while Helen's talking, if everyone can kind of mute their computers, because there's always a small child or a dog or something in the background in my experience. And then maybe do the little hands up thing. That's a Zoom thing, right? If you've got a question, and then whoever's presenting can ask when they feel it's appropriate to. Probably should have introduced myself. My name's Ellie Allen. I am the program manager here at Feast. So yeah, I manage a lot of the grants programs. Myself and Catherine manage the festivals network.
Yeah. So I'm Catherine Mountford. I work across lots of different projects under Creative Kerno. But today my hat is the Festivals Network.
Which is our favourite hat, to be fair. We do love the Festival Network's hat. So just a few little bits about what we've got going on at Feast. So we still have some levelling up SPF funding, which is specific to festivals. It means that the normal festival enhancement grant of £1,000 is currently £2,500. Woo! So you can do a bit more with that. We also have the Creative Comms grant, which is all about marketing your festival. That is £1,000 in cash and a day of the Cornwall 365 team's time to look at your social media or do an audit of your marketing, various different things. There's specific things that they do specialize in, and there's things that they don't. Things like PPC, SEO, that kind of stuff they don't. So it's worth having a look at the information before you submit a form. We are currently, for the next round, at 0 forms. I'm not saying it's going to end that way, but if you have a marketing need, please put a form in. I think we've got 7 left to give away as part of this funding. And the deadline date is the 22nd of March. So you've got a couple of weeks. For the festival enhancement, the deadline date is the 18th of March. You've got a tiny mini bit less time for that one. We also have the Festivals Forum coming up, which we're really excited about. We've got 2 forums, actually. The 17th of April is going to be at Crescent Kerno. It's a day thing because it's a pretty comprehensive programme. Yeah. So it's 9:30 till 4. Yeah. And we've got a range of different speakers across a range of different topics, basically. We've got an expert on fundraising. We've got somebody who's, an expert on EDI. We've got local government, town teams, people that you might want to discuss governance with, Volunteer Cornwall, and a lady that deals with volunteers. Is she coming up? Yeah, she's doing that day as well. And also, I think there's one more. Oh, it's a commercial festival. So it was a community festival that's now a commercial festival. No, we're not suggesting you want to become commercial festivals, but it's maybe pulling out of that some ideas of how you can, a bit like Hilary's going to talk about in a minute, how you could make it just a bit more financially sustainable without relying on grant funding, because as we know, we have cuts all the time. So it's how you can maybe prop it up a bit more with, you bringing thousands of people into your towns. What does the town give back to you? That kind of stuff. 17th of April is at Crescent Kerno here in Redruth. And the 24th of April is at St Bartholomew's Church Hall in Lostwithiel.
I'm so glad you said that.
It's a bit of a mouthful. I think that's all the notices we've got for the moment. So if you're ready, Hilary, you can take over and share your screen. Thank you very much.
Oh, okie dokie. Thank you. I will start sharing my screen as I'm talking. So yeah, I am. Is that working now? Let's have a look. Just a sec. Let me know when you can see the screen. The thing is, though, when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see hands up. Oh, I can see some thumbs up from Ellie there. Grand. So yeah, I'm Hilary. I wear lots of hats, but the hat I'm wearing when I'm talking to you today, I should get a hat. Pretend this is a hat. There you go. That's my festival's hat. I've been helping, sorting out, organising, delivering, singing out, doing lots of stuff at different festivals in Saltash for, oh my goodness, probably 10, 11 years now. We have 3 major festivals in Saltash. And it's not, it's mode. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing because this wasn't in the presentation mode. So I'm going to start sharing again and hopefully go into the actual presentation mode rather than. Yes, so let's try again from the current slide. Right. Oh, there we go. So there we go. So I'm just going to give you, I'm not going to talk for very long. And I promise I really, it's not my intention to preach at you at all, because yeah, we're all in the same boat. And all I'm going to do is just say some ideas of stuff that has helped us generate income over the last years, because Ellie's right, it is getting tough getting grant funding out there. And as volunteers in these community festivals, I'd say the majority of our time is spent trying to scrabble around getting money to come into the festivals. So I'm just hoping that the little points I'm going to raise with you today might spark off some kind of, I don't know, light bulb ideas or some chat later on. So I'm just going to talk to you really briefly about the story of the 2 festivals that I run, and that's really brief. And then I'm just going to look at a rough breakdown of the income and then look at 4 little ideas that we've come up with to generate some income. So first of all, the 2 major ones that I'm leading the organisation of, the first one is Saltash Mayfair, first weekend of May. This is when we close off our main street in Saltash, and we get lots of stalls and lots of people. We reckon over the weekend we get about 7,500 people, probably primarily in family groups. So we set up a stage at the bottom of 4th Street so that people can sing and dance and do stuff on there, mainly community groups. Just so you get an idea of where I'm talking about, 4th Street, it's that street that is marked in that lovely wobbly yellow line there. So it's very close to the River Tamar. The Tamar Bridge is here, and just to help you picture where you are, this way to England, over that way. So it means when we close off 4th Street that we have the extra complications of closing off the slip road off the Tamar Bridge, which is it's a National Highways road, it's the A38. So that comes with a price package. It's quite expensive to have to close that off. But that's something we want to do because we want to drive footfall into the retail heart of our town centre. Up on the left here, there's a little park. Well, it's quite a big park called Longston Park. So we have a street market on 4th Street on the Saturday. We close that down at 5 o'clock, and we have a big stage up in Longston Park that goes up until into the evening, 9 o'clock-ish, and it's great views down over Longston Park, and we're trying to make a bit of a festival vibe out in all of this. This is all completely free for people to come along and just have picnics and enjoy time together. The Sunday, we work with the local running group, and we have a half marathon, a 5K and a fun run that leads from that Longston Park venue, and we do other stuff on the Sunday as well. But that's the Mayfair. Christmas Festival is the other one that I've been running for the last 11 years. We used to get about I don't know, 25 people probably and a dog coming to watch us turn on the Christmas lights, whereas now we get about 5,000. And we have a carol service, and again we have a street market that goes up through the centre of town. We also get 5,000 people and quite a lot of Santas on bikes, about 300 or so Santas on bikes on their way down to Little Children's, and sorry, what is it? The Children's Hospice, Little Harbour, that's it, Little Harbour down in Porthpean, and they're raising funds. Last year, they stop in various towns on the way down to Porthpean, and I think last year they in total raised £7,000 for the hospice, but they stop in Saltash too, which is always great fun. We also have a Santa fun run when we get about 200 Santas starting off at the top of 4th Street, going down over the bridge, over to England, and then back again. And that's a lot of fun. That generates a little bit of income for us as well. And then in the evening, we have a Christmas lantern parade that goes up 4th Street. This was one of our lanterns a couple of years ago, the grandfather with the grandson. And then at the top of 4th Street, we have the firework display. So those are the 2 major festivals that I'm I help. This is a real indicative figure. I've just pulled it out of thin air. No, I haven't pulled it out of thin air. It's very, very, very rough figure. And this is not as much as it normally costs to host the Mayfair. But last year it happened to be on the same day as the coronation. So we got in some big screens at the bottom of Fore Street and did other stuff. So normally it wouldn't be about, it would be more in the region of, I don't know, £12,000, perhaps something like that to run the Mayfair. Going from the top around, that 3% there is roughly what we get from our cash raffle. The stalls on Fore Street, about 29%. Town Council, grant from Town Council is about 17%. Grants from other bodies, that could be Cornwall councillors, it could be Houghton Solar Farm or community, Cornwall Community Foundation, or sometimes Feast. And then 34%, roughly a third, comes from sponsorship. So recognizing that a huge amount of our money does come from sponsorship, and also recognizing that costs are going up and up and up, we started last year thinking of how we could better engage with those sponsors. So we came up with the idea of a sponsorship booklet that we did across together with the regatta. The regatta is another of our major festivals. Brings in about 7,000 people over the course of a weekend. And we found that each of those 3 different festivals, so with the Christmas festival, I didn't say this, but we run that under the Chamber of Commerce umbrella because it brings people to shop in the centre of the town. So Chamber delivers the Christmas festival. Mayfair is completely run by volunteers, about 3 or 4 of us, and then the regatta is another team of volunteers. And we found we were each going to sponsors within the town, and each of us were going, please, could you give us some money? And we thought, wait a minute, why don't we just pull it all together in a booklet, and then share it out, divvy it out between us? Excuse me. So 2023 was our first attempt at this booklet. It actually worked really well. So we've launched it again 2024. We've just taken it around last week to all the industrial estates, all the businesses on Fore Street and different companies. Last year, this is what it looks like inside from last year's event, last year's pamphlet. And we just put, there are more pages, about, I don't know, 10 or 12 pages. But within that, we suggested kind of packages of what people might want to be sponsoring. So they could, for example, with the regatta, we have a paint party where everybody chucks powdered, painted each other, which is glorious, colourful fun. We suggested they could be a sponsor for that at £250. We also have a cardboard boat race at the regatta, and the sponsor for that could be £300. And on the back of this, going round to the industrial estate, what we found actually was that there were quite a few companies that came forward that we did not know about. That there was one called Austin Nutman, and we were all like, wow, we didn't even know that was in Saltash. So until this sponsorship package booklet thing, we had just been going to the same old companies, and they have been so good in the past, but you can only rely on their favours for a certain period of time before they start going, well, I don't know how much money I've got this year, kind of thing. So we found it brought in new sponsors, which was a really good thing. And it also gave a kind of overall umbrella to all the festivals, which was also good. And that it's a paper leaflet. We found that actually, even after the events had finished, a couple of months later, somebody would ring us up and go, oh, I'm still interested, perhaps for next year. So it was having that paper thing out there that people could then look at later on. So that was a good thing. So we launched that last year. Last year, we thought, I'll tell you what, out of all the money that's coming in from that, we could put the 3 festivals on a crowdfunder page. Oh my goodness, because we found this little bit here. I don't know if any of the rest of you have seen this, but extra funding for projects in Cornwall, the Cornwall Council, and there was also the OPCC, the Office of Police and Crime Commissioner, would give you an extra 10% if you got your target. So we thought, right, let's set ourselves a really ambitious target. And if we can get that, then Cornwall Council and the OPCC will give us an extra 10% or so on top. So we all worked so hard. We set a target £15,000, which was a lot to get. And oh my gosh, we worked really, really, really hard. And on reflection, it was too high. And but at least, hey, we got there in the end. And we got there, and we're going, yes, we got there. And then Cornwall Council and the OPCC said, no, we're not going to give you that extra funding. So be really careful if you're going to go for a crowdfunding project like this, because sometimes it looks really good, but then yeah. But at least, hey, we got the 15,000. Another thing that we do that you may all well do as well is we have a raffle. We started off years ago with a raffle of things. And every year we had to go around to shops and say, please, could you give us a thing? And then we would put it in there. We'd draw somebody's name out the hat, and then we'd have to go and find the person to reunite them with the thing that they had won. And it was just a lot of writing letters and stuff. So instead, we have gone now completely to a cash raffle. And in these days of cost of living crisis, we find that people are very, very much more happy to shell out a quid for the chance of getting £150. They're very, very much more happy to shell out a quid for that. And it also gives the benefit of if the local companies sponsor it, so they get all their logos on the raffle tickets, so that's extra publicity for them. And then also we have a kind of handing over prize ceremony giving thing afterwards, so that this is Chapel Property Management for Mayfair sponsor the first prize of £150, handing it over to the lucky winner, and that lucky winner lives in Saltash and is telling all her friends about how good it was to buy a raffle ticket. And we've seen a notable increase in the amount of sales of raffle tickets. It's still not huge, but over the years, so we started this probably about before COVID actually. So all 3 major festivals now run a cash raffle. We don't run a raffle of things anymore, completely just cash only. Something that we did with the Christmas festival that worked really well that you might be able to do is a Christmas pop-up shop. So this was the second year in 23 that we did it. 2022 was our first year. We in Saltash have something called Saltash Scrap Store, which works, it's a bit like a charity shop, except that it's really focused on arts and crafts. And its main purpose is to stop arty and crafty stuff going into landfill. People bring in things that they don't want anymore, arty crafty stuff, but also we found they were bringing in Christmas goods. And so we saved them throughout the year, priced them up, and we had a pop-up shop in 2022. We just took over an empty unit for a week. And that generated, we got volunteers coming in and selling all the stuff. That generated about £1,000 in that first year, and everybody was like, wow, we really enjoy doing this. And I don't know, there's something about a Christmas pop-up shop that people love being part of. So we did it again last year, and we just went a bit overboard last year because there was an empty retail unit in 4th Street that we took over for 3 months, which was a huge outlay. And because of that outlay, it meant that we didn't generate as much income for the Christmas festival, but we did still get a profit of £1,750 going into the Christmas festival as a result. But we also boosted footfall into the town centre, and people were really happy buying stuff or volunteering in the shop because they thought they were doing their bit for Christmas festival. Sometimes, I don't know if other festivals feel the same, but it's quite hard getting volunteers on board on the day or in the run up to an event. Whereas with this, people were really happy to feel they were part of the Christmas festival and they were doing their bit for the Christmas festival. And we've got a whole rota of volunteers now who have already signed up to do something similar in 2024. We're thinking, we found somewhere to store. We didn't sell everything, so we found somewhere to store everything. And we've already priced it all up. So hopefully this year we'll set it up in perhaps October, November. We're thinking whether we go into different jumble sales or different craft fairs within the town, or whether we take over a unit. We're not quite sure, but this was a really good way of generating interest and fun. And also it meant that people could buy Christmas decorations really cheaply, which was really good for the town. Another thing we've just started, we're working on right now, is our digital e-zine. We pop Facebook posts like this one after the Christmas festival. We use our Facebook pages as a way of saying thank you to our sponsors, to our grant funders and everything. But that's a kind of a one-hit wonder, we realised. So we're working on a digital e-zine like this. These are the first pages of it. We haven't finished it yet. We're nowhere near finishing it yet. But it will be permanently on the website so that sponsors can see where their money has gone and still get a kind of year-round benefit from having sponsored our events. And then it also, for the local independents that sponsor the events, it gives them that kind of feel that they are buying back into the local community and helping the local community. So that was also, hopefully that will be good. And that's actually it, really. So that's all I was going to waffle on about. I hopefully didn't waffle on for too long. In fact, I've got a meeting at 2:30. Sorry, so I've got to leave you. But those were just some kind of thoughts that I would just, for you to
brilliant.
think up.
Love it. So I'm guessing you don't have time to answer questions, but
If somebody's got a question, I can
anyone
do.
got a question? Quick questions for Hilary before she has to dash off to another meeting.
Sorry.
Yeah, go, Vidroof.
See a copy of your sponsorship proposal on email?
Yeah. Catherine, I sent one over.
Yeah, I did,
It's really heavy.
Yeah. I did
Big.
share it ahead, but I can share it again for sure. We've recorded this session, so I'll send it out as like a thing together. It will probably be via WeTransfer, so
It's a big file.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
Can I just say a huge thank you? That was absolutely brilliant in terms of ideas and thoughts and everything else. Well done, Saldash, and yeah, well done, Hilary. It's refreshing to hear so much good stuff.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Robin.
Can I just ask?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah. If there's time, if you've got time there, just about the practicalities of taking over a shop and anything you can tell us about that.
That's a. How about I put something together in an email and send you it, because it's a long story. So we actually took it on through Scrap Store. So Scrap Store signed the lease on our behalf and things like that. So it's not really a festivals thing. But if you're interested, I can or pick up contact offline. Or in fact, if you want to share my email address and people have got questions, they're very welcome to.
Thank you
thank
so much.
Pick up
you.
contact.
Very kind.
Yeah, but it is tricky actually, and we ended up with battling about whether we should be paying the water bills, and it wasn't as easy as it was brilliant and fabulous, but it was a lot of headaches and along the way, which is why I think this year we're probably just going to go along to Jumble Sales. If there's a unit open for just like a week that we can just hop into for a week, that would be good. But we took this one on for 4 months, which was a long long time.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hilary. That was amazing.
You are more welcome. I'm sorry that I have to zip off.
No,
but,
it's all right. And if anyone's got any questions, you can pop them in the chat, and I'll make a note of them and I'll send them on to Hilary.
Grand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hilary.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
To introduce Helen.
Yeah, so we've got Helen Worthington here, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Helen. Sorry, I was just scrolling through to see where you are on the.
Lots of heads and faces. Yeah, I'm in here.
Hi, Helen. So Helen's from Falmouth University, and she's going to discuss the opportunities that there might be for some of her students that are on the sustainable events degree course, I believe. So it's just a kind of a brief introduction to maybe the course and the kind of opportunities that some of the students might be looking for with local festivals. So I'll hand over to you, Helen.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me here. I feel very privileged to be in this community, so thank you. So my name's Helen Worthington. I'm a lecturer at Falmouth University in the business school, but we sort of deliver across the university in lots of different ways. My main focus is on the Sustainable Festivals Management degree, which is an undergraduate degree, but we also have BAs and MAs in music business. We have Sustainable Tourism Management, and what else might be relevant? We have digital marketing, business and marketing courses as well. In fact, I do have some slides, but I mean, you probably don't want to see more slides from me, but we have a range of
Go for it if you want to.
Yeah,
We've got the time.
Talk for too long, but I'll share my screen anyway, and then it's done. So you're going to see yourselves, hopefully, for a second. Go. If I just come across to nip into, this is a kind of landing page on our website. Hopefully you can all see that. Yeah, great. So see if I can just move this banner. Can I hide? Does it? Okay. So, it just keeps popping up. So I have here in front of me just the screen for the main kind of landing page for one of the courses that I come to talk about, but we do have a range of other marketing, business and events related courses in our programs. There are obviously 3-year courses, although there's a 4-year option, which allows placement time for any students who want to go off for a year and be on placement with festivals or events organisers anywhere they want. So they're quite small cohorts. Typically, the festival cohort might be anywhere between 5 and 10 students. And because it's a kind of sustainable festival management degree, you get very niche specialist students. Students are really interested in running festivals sustainably. So you have interest from kind of real grassroots community arts festivals, for example, and then you have those who want to kind of go in and be kind of game changers in the more kind of commercial side of the industry. So trying to make large scale change over the process of a career. So they come with different interests and ambitions. And then we have kind of creative events management students who come with just a much broader perspective on where their careers might go. And then sustainable tourism management, many of which actually do wish to go into the sort of festivals, events side of tourism. So there's quite a mix there overall in any year group intake of about 40 to 50 students. And some of our students have gone on, so I've got an example here of Brian E. Matthews, who's gone on to work in a consultancy role for Hope Solutions, and they do the sustainability consultancy, I guess, for organisations like the BBC, Glastonbury Festival and Coldplay. So she's right up there as the sort of at a very kind of high level and working quite high profile role, but we have others who've obviously gone into slightly more community orientated roles or working closer to where maybe they grew up. We also have had actually students work with graduates work with Feast, I believe, in kind of recent years. So the reason I'm sort of here today is to sort of share that with you and to say that if there's ever opportunities for students to come and kind of get experience at your festivals, we're always kind of on the lookout for kind of volunteering opportunities. So to secure those placements, and that could be in a holiday time, including during the summer months, or it could be at other times during the year. So they can be flexible. We generally tend to support it around their studies where we can. I've just got in front of me here a course map for the festival management degree, and you can see they cover quite a lot of different themes. In the first year, they get an introduction to what the festival industry is as such, but that includes, festivals are all in all kind of interpretation of the word. And then they get to well-being, and they look at customer journeys, sustainability, marketing, promotional communications, and then they do a live event. Then they go into their second year and they drill down a little bit more into things like financial management, working collaboratively, project management, designing and operating festivals and research methods. And then in their final year, it's much more about kind of building their professional brand, looking at fundraising, bid writing for festival development, and then looking at, sort of running a large scale festival management operation. When I say large scale, I mean it would be a very public event, maybe in a location here in Cornwall. And they also do a research project to take part in a crisis management training. So they look at kind of resilience, but also what to do in the event of crisis. So I deliver that programme along with 3 or 4 colleagues of mine. I'm going to stop sharing now, that's all right. And we can support employability in a number of ways here. I'm not going to talk about employability because it's not my specialism. Other than that, I'm really keen just to support students, to support local festivals where possible. And where it's relevant for you, it might be a one-off exercise. You might have a bit of marketing that you want to produce and you need an extra bit of time and resource to do that. It could be you need real boots on the ground, hands on deck during the festivals themselves, and we can provide events volunteers. It could be you need photographers and videographers to generate content that you can then use in future promotional situations. So yeah, I think that's it really. We have an employability team who can help to facilitate that. So we support internships here in that we can potentially co-fund or part fund, subsidise actual kind of up to 30 hours of internship for a specific activity. And we can also provide kind of recruit volunteers for you through that employability platform with dedicated, advertising, role advertising and so on. And students can apply and you can look at CVs in a sort of traditional recruitment way. All our students complete Attitude is Everything, which is accessibility for the live events industry training. And they all complete sustainability training through A Greener Future, which is the established sustainability festivals network and consultancy. And I think that's possibly all I had to say. They all come qualified with first aid training as well, in case that's helpful. And they go through quite a lot of practical training on the crisis management course. And just a heads up that they will deliver a live event in each of their years at university. One will be a student event in our performance centre on campus. One would be a live public event at the Eden Project. And then their final event is produced just in a location of their choice. So historically, we've used things like Kimberley Park. Some students did try to put a festival on a beach, and I advised them not to, and so that didn't quite work out for various reasons, but it's all part of the learning. And I think that's it. I hope I haven't talked too long.
That's amazing. Another amazing speaker. Does anybody have any questions?
David, looks like, yeah.
Hello. I used to be involved, and I still am to an extent, in an annual festival in Lostwithiel. We have got some feelers out with Cornwall College, but I wonder if we wanted to get involved with your students, what would be the way of best contacting you?
So I'll, Catherine, feel free to share my email address directly, and then I can sign where appropriate. Partly it might be signposting into the employability team, but I would always try and promote your activities anyway in tandem with them. So to the students, I would be involved personally in doing that. If anyone has a sort of live brief, that's certainly something that I can take up myself with you. So if you wanted to get students to come and solve a problem that you have, or come up with design ideas, or I mean, it's probably over to you guys to kind of make suggestions about what you need. But our students can come with their collective minds and put their minds to that. So via myself, probably in the first instance, and then it depends where it would need to land in a way, David. But I can get that to the right place.
Lovely. So your email address is, if you're willing to divulge,
we'll put it in the email follow up.
Oh, lovely. Okay, thank you very much.
That was great.
If in doubt, you can always find me on the website. Sorry, I'm also there on the website, but I can, if you're happy to share it after.
Okay, well, many thanks, and thank you for brilliant talk.
Oh, no problem. I do every day, all day.
well.
Not this one, not this particular talk, but I'm talking now. But thank you. Is there anything I can? Yeah.
Can I just follow up from there? If we did want to get in touch with you and maybe talk to some of your students or a project or whatever, what sort of deadlines are we talking about? How much notice do you need? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, good question. So the courses run typical September through to May. So that's our April, really, I probably should say. That's our kind of operational window. And we tend, not all academics do this, but we tend to try and plan our modules about 2 months ahead of time. So I did some, like the kind of modules I do, I'll be sort of ready to deliver September by end of August. So I'll be sort of mapping out key activities, the sort of headline activities during July and August, probably key festival season, which is never helpful. But, if you wanted to just come in at any point during a module, we can usually do that at fairly short notice, a few weeks notice is fine. I guess the more comprehensive input you want, the longer the lead time.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And I think it's really just for me to say, my background is in music industry, but I did work in a local festival. It was called the International Beckett Festival in Enniskillen in Northern Ireland. I absolutely loved that experience, along with I worked with kind of the Proms and Edinburgh Festival and all those sort of biggies in my time. But we're really keen to support local festivals as well, as far as we can, as far as our students can access those with the transport options they have available. Some drive, some don't, and kind of that's a passion of mine long term to, through research, try and support the sector as well. So here on that basis as well. All right, I probably talked enough, haven't I?
No, not at all.
Thank you very much for giving me the spot.
No worries. No, I think it's really helpful to the network. It's great that you want to support the local festivals, which there are a lot of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone else have any more questions? Anything specific they wanted to ask? This is like a network, so we don't have like really formal things that we wanted to discuss now. Really, we've had the 2 speakers. We've penciled in for another 50 minutes. What we thought might be nice, if anyone is willing, is we know I kind of feel like sometimes in the network we all talk about our problems and, oh, we're struggling with this and we're struggling with that and we're struggling with the other. And we fail to kind of acknowledge the things that everybody does really well and share that kind of like best practices of, do you know what worked really well at Newquay St Piran's Fest? This is what worked really well. How you got into the schools, or, you know, like and I just thought if anyone's willing that we could just do a little discussion, if anyone's willing to share anything that to blow their own trumpet about what they do well, that would be really interesting for everyone else to hear. So don't all jump at once, but if anyone would like to share, we'd love to hear it.
Otherwise, we will pick you. Go on, David.
Okay, I'll give you a quick one because it's only just happened. For the first time ever with Lost Fest, we decided we were going to have, and we had it last Saturday, a ceilidh. So we didn't know how many people were going to turn up. We booked the community centre hall, beautifully decorated it, and we had a full house. It was absolutely wonderful. Everybody enjoyed themselves. We made a reasonable profit, and it also made a profit for the community centre. So I think that was a sort of win-win all round. So I thought I'd like to share that with you.
That's amazing. I spoke to Helen last week. How did the raffle go? That's what
the raffle is coming on. We did sell quite a few tickets on the night, but the raffle is still continuing up until Lost Fest, which is on May the 19th, and then the prize winners will be announced. And I was interested to hear from the Saltash Festival. They've given up doing a raffle of things and having a cash raffle instead. So I think that's something we could probably well consider for 2025.
Cool.
That was also very useful. It's always nice to hear other people's experiences, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Definitely. And as a caller for a ceilidh band, I am like all about ceilidhs.
Oh, well, maybe we'll employ you next year.
Another hat. I put my ceilidh. So yeah, I am doing one for Isabel actually.
Oh, right.
Not sure when it is now, but
we had a wonderful band
April.
we've had in Lost Fest in the past called Carrot. So they were very good indeed.
Cool.
Okay, I will sort of sign off now and let somebody else take over.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Anybody else got something they want to share? Come on, Rob. I know you do things well. Getting into school. Really.
I'd love to think I did, but it doesn't work like that most of the time. I guess one of the things that we've enjoyed doing as much as anything is going into schools and working with youngsters. Let me just explain a little bit about my background. I've been involved in education for most of my life, one way or the other. I came over here back into Newquay a few years back and noticed that St Piran's Festival was firing off in different places with little bits and pieces, but nothing was synchronizing anything. So a little group of us got together and we decided we were going to fire it up and try and run something collectively. And one of the first things we were able to do, mainly because I tend to work with a group called Olangwella, a choral group, and what we succeeded in doing was actually persuading the youngsters that they really wanted to hear some Cornish songs by going into the schools, singing with them. Schools welcomed it, obviously. And with Feast funding this year, we've been able to support the people that are doing the workshops. So that's been really great. And we had 6 schools altogether turning up to a pre-St Piran's Festival session, which was run for parents and others. And I guess we had probably 300 or 400 people in the Hotel Victoria ballroom there, all turning up to watch their children, whatever, performing. And again, yesterday after the parade, we piled in there, total mayhem and chaos with umpteen youngsters leaping in every direction, and parents and staff from schools trying hard to keep hold of them. But we managed to persuade them in the end to each perform a song, and then collectively sang "Call Me My Home" and Trelawney at the end, and it really went off very well. So yeah, going into schools is the thing to do in many ways, And if you can
And how
find a
did
way,
you get it? I know you're in education, but how did you get Goonavon in the end? Did you manage to get the outlying schools, or was it?
we popped in. We've popped into 2 schools locally, Morgan in Pyder and St Callum Major in particular. They were quite keen to have us in because they'd heard Olenguela singing out. So we changed the words slightly on some of the songs that we sing in the evenings into something manageable and appropriate for children to listen to, and then went in and taught them some songs. And this year in particular, we've been teaching them a bit of Kernuic as well. So they're getting that coming through. And the parents are quite interested, and we had a good gang of them singing Kernuic for Drunken Sailor yesterday afternoon, which worked out quite nicely. Just kept their interest going, and lots of people involved. So if you can get hold of, if you're involved with a choral group or a Ceilidh group or something like that, you can get involved and get into the schools. The frustrating thing is that some schools just don't respond. You offer them a freebie, and they're awful at communicating. And I was reminded that I wasn't very good when I was in the profession either, by some of the responses. But hey ho, there we are. But it's good fun. It's good to get in there and work with the children, and it's good to get their response coming back with big smiles on their faces and wanting to be part of something like that. And it's a good way to bring parents in, and it was a win-win situation, I think.
Brilliant. Great.
I could spend the rest of the afternoon telling you of some failures, but that was a win.
No. Right, as it was St Piran's Day Festival in Redruth on Saturday. Come on, Alice and Natasha. What went really, really well? I hope you're still on the call. I can't see your faces.
Can you see us?
Yeah. Good.
I always get really worried that people aren't going to turn up to the festivals, and I have this like mild panic that is anyone actually going to come, but they always do in like quite a big turnout. So I think we're quite good at creating awareness. Obviously we are a team. We're quite fortunate that the council employs us to do engagement, but we do things like bus shelter advertising. We do a save the date campaign at the start of the year, so we do like a mail drop to like the local postcode which says all of our dates throughout the year. So it just, people can put it on their fridge, and there's a QR code so they can go onto the website and see what's going on. We're quite big on the socials. Yeah, we do quite a lot in terms of marketing, so I think that is always quite effective, and obviously working with local groups and the schools that you were saying it's done really well.
So is that funded from the town council? Your marketing budget is?
Yeah. It's
interesting how different towns work. I always find it quite intriguing how different towns do things different ways, but we hope to cover some of that. The forum, Alice or Sam is speaking. I'm not sure which one's straw, or the long straw. Adrian, am I right? You're from Weybridge, or have I picked completely the wrong person?
Sorry, I've got 2 mice here. I was clicking on the wrong one. Yes, Weybridge.
Weybridge. Come on then. What goes Weybridge? I imagine is a difficult time because it's August bank holiday weekend, so there's loads of stuff going on. So it's probably like, how do you get people to Weybridge?
Yeah, well, this is the Cornwall Folk Festival, and to be honest, our focus is not about getting local people into what we're.
Oh, is that us? No,
I don't think so.
Broadcasting, if you understand me.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you glitched.
Did I?
Yeah. Just saying that you're not focused on local people. I think.
Well, we're focused on pulling in across Devon and Cornwall people interested in folk music, or in the broadest sense. And I would put a caveat on that and say it's contemporary folk music that we're focusing on. So, and we're a music festival in Weybridge, but our market is people who like music. You were asking about success things. Last year we did run 3 Ceilidhs. Our first one was very successful.
I feel that's a failure.
Sorry?
I didn't do any of them, so
I know. We tended to, I forget who we had booked for the bands, but The first one we actually at the last minute we repurposed as a fundraiser for the Syria Turkey earthquake.
Oh, nice.
And in doing that, we got people that bought tickets even though they couldn't make it. So that was interesting. But of course, none of the money came to us. You know, it went to charity. The second one we did, and we tend to do them in the winter time because that seems to be a better time to do it. We did one in early summer or late spring, and we made a few £100 on that. But we then tried it again in October and November, and we broke even. So we had mixed responses. But last week, and I've started I've got a new bunch of people focusing on part of our income streams. We have a sort of a banner title in our budget, just fundraisers, which we attribute about 5% of our income to. You know, that's kind of our target on it. And they've come up with some really interesting ideas. So with the Ceilidh, it's kind of connected to folk music. But last week we ran a pub quiz.
Oh, I love a pub quiz.
Where the costs are minimal. I mean, the pub gave us the venue, and we brought in a load of customers to them on a Wednesday night. We had over 60 people came to it. We raised about £250, and for sort of effort in to reward out, it was pretty successful, really. The only work we had to do, which is the project I stupidly took on, which was writing the questions.
Yeah,
which,
I think that's really interesting because I've noticed sometimes with festivals that they're bringing a lot of stuff into the town and the town doesn't get that. Like it's like a very cold March and you're bringing people into a pub where they wouldn't be, and you're bringing them revenue, and they like that's like a really good thing, isn't it? It's kind of beneficial for the town and beneficial for the festival. So it's it's pretty cool.
The town does tend to be quite supportive of events. So when the carnival takes place here, they often have fundraisers or a big breakfast or a pub quiz or whatever. So in general, the town does support that. And I did notice on this particular occasion, we got more people that were outside of the people we would normally see at the folk festival, should we say, came to the pub quiz. So we're exploring other ideas. This new team has got the idea of doing a food taster. Sorry, a food and wine pairing, to be precise. We've got Weybridge Wines, who do great wines in the town, and they're prepared to help us with an event that would be, you know, not music related at all. So we're experimenting with other types of revenue incomes, and there are also opportunities to promote, because if we get it to different people, then we can explain at that occasion a bit more about what we're about. I think we're lumbered. The word folk puts people off. In fact, so we're always trying to overcome that.
The band.
Sorry?
So my Ceilidh band, we do open Ceilidhs, and you know what really works well, like a Burns night. I know it's Celtic folk, so it's maybe slightly different than a generic folk. But if you do it around Burns night, we did one in Burns night in Falmouth, and we sold like 170 tickets or something. Wow. Loads of people think they're Scottish, like they're somehow Scottish of a long time ago. But if you can tie it into some kind of St. Piran's Day, Burns night, that kind of stuff, you tend to sell more tickets because people somehow are. And we didn't do food or anything; it was just literally like a Burns night, Ceilidh, and we did loads of tickets.
Well, that's a good point. I think we have often booked it to around, because we've always used the town hall for the Ceilidh, which incurs us quite a large expense.
Yeah.
And also we have to fit in with their availability. So it may be that we have to look to other venues that are less booked up and also less expensive. You know. But yeah, so that was some of the things we've done.
Awesome, thank you. Does anyone who hasn't shared? Isabel, do you want to share?
Well, I'm here on behalf of Cornwall Heritage Trust today, and we did our WENIC for the first time in 2023. I just started my position and wasn't actually available, so I wasn't there. But I organised within the first 2 weeks of my job all the volunteers that helped run it. It was pretty intense off the block start. But I mean, thanks to those volunteers, because we did it at Lost Gardens of Heligan, and it's a sprawling site, and we're not a massive team anyway, so it was quite a new enterprise for us to start a festival.
Does anyone know? Does everyone know what When It was? Just in case.
So it was a kind of
anyone-
heritage festival. So it had kind of reenactors and demonstrations of heritage crafts like hedging and basket weaving, and we also had some kind of performances as well. So Olenguela, lovely Olenguela came in and sang for us, and we had Ed Rowe do a bit of performing, as well as the Story Republic. So the plan is it's happening again this year on Sunday the 8th of September in Helligan again. So yeah, I think basically we started with a very minimal experience of festival, kind of running a festival with but a lot of ambition. Did it all without funding, or without much substantial funding, and had such a good response that we're doing it again. So that's a definite positive, and we are looking more towards partnership working this year, understanding, acknowledging that we don't know everything, and that bringing other people's knowledge in will help. So we're going to be working with Lawenda to kind of strengthen our Cornish music and dance heritage representation.
Oh,
Brilliant.
awesome.
Could you play a little bit more next year and get the weather sorted out for us, Isabel?
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, that was the only shame. I know it wasn't the best weather, but we'll hope for a warm and balmy September this year.
Never
Yeah.
know.
Fingers crossed. Does anyone else like to share some positive stories from their little areas?
I'm here sort of representing Lou Festival of Words, which is brand new. So I have absolutely no successes to share because we haven't done anything yet. So we're so it's just really nice to be here and say hi and just feel not quite so alone. So so the Lou Festival of Words will be happening in the 1st to the 6th of October this year. Not a literary festival, much more community-based, participatory, fun stuff. That's all I know, because we're in that awful situation of no money, lots of ambition, lots of people, don't quite know what we're doing yet. Help! Anyway, that's me. This is the report yet.
That sounds exciting,
Really
Lou.
exciting. Yeah. Brilliant.
I'm trying to think. There's another word festival that someone's messaged me about. I can't remember where it is. It's not Lou, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Hold on. She might be worth speaking to. No, I don't know.
No.
I can't see where it is. We'll find out. Yeah, we can always try and make it's women in words.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it says
down in Penzance.
it might be
yeah.
Penzance,
Yeah.
yeah. But there's a whole we've got quite a few of literary book, different types of festivals that you could probably glean some stuff to. Some are more community based than others. We got the Droof Book Festival,
The St Austell Children's
Literature Festival. So there's quite a little subgroups within the network of kind of similar or kind of shared interests, or they can probably share things. Oh, there's a really amazing children's literary festival on the Lizard somewhere, and they're getting the author from Horrible Histories down, which to me sounds like super exciting, and I'm a grown woman. So I can't remember. It's on the Lizard somewhere. We can probably, and we're hoping at the forum, the in-person forum, that there will be plenty of opportunities to network. So we're hoping to do some kind of intros at the beginning, which doesn't take the entire forum, and then you can kind of like see people that you might want to chat to throughout the day, and kind of hook up with them or get their details or whatever for the future. So that's exciting.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
That's okay.
No worries. Does anyone else want to share anything? There's no pulling of teeth. If you Ross, you got anything exciting to say?
We're working properly. Hi, well, I'm Ross from circus charity Cirque du Ciel, which is in the process of rebranding into Cirque Hez and moving to Helston. And similar to Jackie, we just started out with the Circus Festival last year. So we're just at the beginning, really. So it's all to sort of figure out amongst moving the circus space at the moment. But I suppose just to share the success from last year was that we got funding to run it at all from the National Lottery. And it was a very slapdash, didn't do very much marketing, but we got a great turnout anyway. I think we're just very lucky in the sense that it was very much a child-led project by the youth circus team that we have, and they just done a show at Glastonbury, and we had some great footage from the stuff they did there for the Glastonbury Arts Commission. And yeah, just the videos we put out from them just sort of went a bit viral, really. I think there was like several thousand views in a couple of weeks. And from that, we thought, you know, we don't really probably need to do much more marketing because it was a free festival, and it was also great timing at the start of summer holidays. I think loads of families were just feeling the financial strain and looking for free things to take their kids to in the summer. So I think it's, yeah, a combination of good timing and something that appeals to a wide range of ages and audiences, I suppose. I mean, I love the Cornish Festival network and what's around, but I do feel a lot of festivals come from celebrating heritage, which is great. But I feel like, you know, it lacks a bit of an appeal to, you know, that teenage sort of audience participants at the moment. So I think
So were you in Helston last year?
No, we were based in Devon, and we're just setting up the space in Helston now.
And is the festival going to be in Helston?
Pardon?
Is the festival going to be in Helston?
Well, no, it was at Heartlands last year.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, we're looking to do something similar in Helston in September, and have a combination of free activities and some ticketed activities and shows and some stuff by donations to sort of trial out some other ways to bring some money in, of course.
Do you know Guy Watson?
Yes, I chatted with him yesterday.
Okay, cool. Yes, everything Helston. If anyone's doing anything in Helston, I recommend talking to Guy Watson. That would be my piece of advice.
Yeah.
He's running the cafe down the bottom, entertainment, the cafe down the bottom near the skate park. They bought a church. They're taking over the world. It's quite exciting, Helston.
I know there's quite a lot going on for Helston at the moment, which is exciting for us, obviously. Yeah.
That's really cool. Amazing. Anybody left that has anything they feel they have to share? I don't feel like you have to. I feel like the only person that hasn't spoken is Kath, but I'm not sure if she's there. There's no picture, so
it's all right.
Don't feel the pressure, Kath, if you've got nothing to share.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you all for sharing your stories. Thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed the speakers. We'll follow up with some, if you can do the evaluation forms, it's really helpful for us. Obviously, we're funded, so any feedback we get, not only it's great to go to the funders, but also means that we don't waste your time coming to things that are not at all useful for you, because we'd rather give you stuff that's really useful for you. We'll send out the stuff from Hilary and contact details for Helen and Hilary in case anyone wants to get in touch with them. Has anyone got anything they want to add, ask?
Yeah, Ellie, can I just ask, you mentioned earlier a little bit about the organisation of the 17th of April, which is down there in Redruth.
Yeah.
24th of April, it's up at St Bart's, I think you said.
Yeah.
Up in Lostwithiel.
Yeah.
Is that the same format?
It's exactly the same agenda. The agenda is the same. We've got like a slight difference because what we've got is local government coming to speak. So in the west, we've got someone from the Falmouth bid team. In the north, we've got someone from the Newquay bid team. So it's exactly the same agenda, just slightly different speakers, very slightly different.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any more for any more? Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. We hope you found this useful, and hopefully see you on the 17th of the 24th or the 24th. But if not, see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.